Alignment is when authenticity and your ambitions are no longer in conflict. It's when the life you're living actually matches the person you've become. Alignment feels like clarity, confidence, and momentum. Misalignment feels like burnout, numbness, second guessing. Hello, everyone. It's AJ Jones, host of this podcast, Code 3 Life Reinvented. Thank you so much for being here. I am grateful that you're taking the time out of your day to check in and hear what I have to say or what my guests have to say. It means so much. And while I've got you and on that theme, I'd be so grateful for a rating or a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. What I like to do with this podcast is to intersperse what I like to call solo episodes, which is what today's episode will be, with my interviews with others that I think have really important messages of this whole concept of the Code 3 Life Reinvention theme. With that in mind, talking about reinvention, I want to be really vulnerable and honest in this episode and share with you an important decision that I've just made. Now, for those that know me or have been following this podcast, you'll know I launched a business called More, M-O-R-E. And the reason why I called it More is when I conceived of the business and what I wanted to do, my whole strategy at that point, being a one-time widowmaker survivor, was to commit my professional life to help others get more out of theirs. And we're not talking about more things and material possessions and bigger houses. We're talking about things like fulfillment, joy, purpose, fun, and alignment. The business was first hatched in 2024, January 2024. And the initial premise was we'd create a community to help Gen Xers get more out of life. A very squishy and undefined value proposition, but I was super into it. And I thought this was going to be it. We launched it, and about 3 months into that journey, in April of that year, 2024, I suffered my second widowmaker heart attack. Now, when I came out of that, and I got to be honest with you, having a second widowmaker was one of the more destabilizing things I've been through. I mean, I think any heart attack is, but when you've had one and you think you've been doing all the things you're supposed to do, and your blood work is always good, your blood pressure is always good, all the things, and then you get a second one out of nowhere, it can really rattle the cage. And let me tell you, it rattled mine, no doubt. But as I came out of that second one in the late spring, early summer of 2024, I sat with what I wanted to do with my life. Do I continue with this mission of more, or do I hang it all up? My cardiologist was advising me to retire, by the way. And as he said those words to me, Adrian, I think it's time for you to retire. Take care of your health and enjoy your life. All I could think of is, what? No way. I've got unfinished business. What are we talking about here, Doc? But I had to sit with it, as you might imagine. And what I decided is that I wanted to continue with more. That was a non-negotiable. I would make other changes in my life to help me manage my stress and do whatever I could to de-risk myself from another, hopefully not tragic or catastrophic cardiac event. I decided I wanted to continue with more and focus on the career side of where people are feeling stuck. High achievers, accomplished professionals who are just feeling stuck and trying to figure out what is the right career that they should have now. How should their relationship with their job be after a certain age? I wrote a book, and that book is coming out in early parts of 2026. And from that book, I created a curriculum, and I relaunched the business More in early 2025 with the URL More Career Wellness. And as I ramped up to launch it, and I started to reach out to my network and describe what I was building, it would be a career wellness platform built around what I like to call my 3 C's: coaching, curriculum, and community. I shared it with people. And to be honest, and I am not making this up, not one person said I had it all wrong. Not one. I would expect my family and close friends to be supportive, but the further I went out from that safety of your inner network to people you've never met, I was getting the most remarkable feedback. All I could think of is, this is it. This is what people need. But I've learned a lot. And today I want to talk to you about where we're headed and what I've learned, how it has evolved, and why I'm so excited about it. So when I relaunched More in early 2025, under this premise of creating a career wellness space for accomplished professionals, high achievers, I thought this was the solution. We could create a community and a place where people could gather, be honest, realize they're not alone, talk to people who have the same mindset and lived experiences, and kind of co-create together new paths that would be super compelling and exciting for people who would be members of the More platform. Now that I've sat with it and had a chance to gather feedback from my existing More members and those outside, I realized that I wasn't where I needed the business to be, and I hadn't matured in my thinking enough. And I realized I was misaligned while building something I believed in, but I wasn't saying it boldly enough. Now remember, my meta strategy is to help others get more out of life. It's not a strategy. It's a mission. It's a life purpose. It is a calling. Believe me. Oh, I know in my soul that I got close to the target with career wellness, but it still wasn't exactly what people were looking for, which was really hard to deal with when you hear nothing but positive things about what you're building from people you know and care about and hope assume they do about you, to people you've never met. And you're on a video call with them for the first time explaining what you're doing, and they think it's the greatest thing ever. But it still wasn't right. It took me a while to figure that out. And I went to a mastermind, my first ever mastermind, a few weeks ago. And it was there that I had a huge aha moment. I realized, going through the workshop and sitting on the hot seats that they have at this particular mastermind. By the way, I went to this mastermind with no expectation really of getting something big or small out of it. I just wanted to learn. I do not have it all figured out. I'm not the smartest guy in the room. Why not go where you could get some critical feedback and see what I could do with it? And man, oh man, did I ever get feedback. What I learned, I was sitting, listening to someone else who was sitting on the hot seat, and I was sitting there in my thoughts going, I'm not solving for careers. What I'm really solving is for misalignment. People, the target market I'm going after, who I think I can best serve, they're not lacking opportunity. I think they're lacking clarity about who they are now versus who their life was built for. And success isn't the problem. Numb success is what misalignment feels. So you might be thinking, AJ, what are you talking about? What is this alignment business? What is alignment? Or what is my definition of alignment? Alignment is when authenticity and your ambitions are no longer in conflict. It's when the life you're living actually matches the person you've become. Alignment serves as the bridge between who you are on the inside and what you're doing on the outside. So if you want to visualize it, think of if you are arranging images on PowerPoint or Google Slides, and you want to get 3 boxes all arranged nice and neatly, vertically or horizontally, doesn't matter. If you put authenticity, action, and ambitions in a row, or let me put it a different way, authenticity, ambitions, action in a row, and they all line up, that is what I believe is alignment. Alignment feels like clarity, confidence, and momentum. Misalignment feels like burnout, numbness, second guessing, those darn pesky golden handcuffs, or waking up with that quiet ache that says, this isn't it. Alignment equals energy, honesty, direction. I'll use the word again, momentum. Misalignment feels like friction, fatigue, and a slow leak of your true potential. And reinvention is simply the process of closing that gap. I got to tell you, since I got out of that mastermind, I was sitting there and I jumped out of my chair while someone else is on the hot seat and everybody's focused on them. I got out of my chair, grabbed a piece of paper, and I wrote down, I'm solving for alignment. My homework for that particular day was to rewrite the description of my target person, my avatar, the persona, however you want to say it. So that night, I went and created a persona for my avatar, Robert. Okay. Don't know why I chose Robert, just the name that came to me. And I went back the next morning and read that avatar. I didn't have one for my avatar, Rebecca, yet. I just only had time to do Robert. When I read through that and I saw the participants of the mastermind split across gender, ages ranging, I think, from mid-30s to mid-50s, it was a mic drop moment. People were floored. The visceral reactions that they had shocked me, truly. And once I got that right, and what was causing pain and frustration and ache and numbness in this avatar, Robert, it made so much sense to me and all the participants of this particular mastermind. I understood that the listening that I'd been doing for most of this year had finally come together and crystallized in something that has made so much sense to me. People don't need career wellness. They need alignment. The work I was building and will commit to build was right, but the language was wrong. So I'm here to announce that our new URL is no longer morecareerwellness.com, but BE more aligned. Of course, more is MORE, bemorealigned.com. I couldn't believe when that URL was available, bemorealigned.com. I grabbed it right away without hesitating, because you never know if you're trying to get a URL. And I've shared that with many people who are involved with this iteration of More, and the feedback could not be more positive. And then when I shared my avatar of Rebecca with a number of people, many of whom are women who I think could relate to Rebecca, the feedback blew me away. It resonated. They could see themselves in it. They had things to add to the persona because they wanted to share their own way of working through their misalignment and frustrations in life. Super powerful stuff. And work, quite frankly, that I had not done when I was rolling out morecareerwellness.com. It was fascinating. I hope that this is a result of me growing and learning and listening. And the problem with the old More was that it was too career adjacent, too easy to misunderstand and put it in a box of quote unquote career coaching, which was never its design. More Career Wellness was about a place, a destination where people could gather, get critical group coaching, hear from others who are going through something similar, be inspired by their other story of reinvention, get the idea factory of the community working with you and the support of the community. But I don't think it landed with people who came to our website and really tried to dig into what we offered. And I think it was just assumed like, oh, this is a career coaching program or course or something, which is actually not at all what it was intended to be. So I think it was easy to misunderstand, too tactical for a fundamentally identity level problem, which is now what More is going to help people solve. And I don't think it was speaking to the deeper ache of misalignment. So the new direction, what More has become, it is a place, a destination where high achievers move from numb success to aligned living. The membership will still be based on the 3 C's: coaching, community, and our curriculum. And the curriculum, I will die on this hill, is about authenticity and the importance of authenticity. So the curriculum is authenticity based. Once you understand as best you can what your authentic truth is, it becomes a lot easier to see if you are aligned or not with where you are in life. And that certainly does your career. So we'll have those 3 C's: coaching, curriculum, and community. We will have and we'll build out a platform or a portfolio of retreats that create alignment inflection points. This community will be built of peers living with intention, people who understand that there is more to life than where they are today, and they're committed through intention and intentional acts to get there. This is going to be action-driven reinvention. I'm all about progress, however big, however small, whatever suits the person, that's fine. But let's take steps. Action creates clarity, and action can create momentum. And we all know that momentum begets momentum. Ultimately, all of this is centered on helping people get aligned and stay aligned. And why does this change matter? Misalignment drains more from a person than any difficult job ever could. Yeah, having a crappy job or working for a manager you can't stand, that's hard. That is some next level hard stuff. But being misaligned can eat at your soul. And alignment can be an advantage. That is for sure. And when you realign your inner world, your outer world follows in your career, in your relationships, and health and confidence, and how you show up every day and engage with life. So my invitation here is, if your success feels disconnected from your soul, you're exactly who we're building BeMoreAligned.com for. The new version of more at the URL BeMoreAligned.com. I want to invite you, if this sounds like it hits the mark for you, I really invite you to go to our website and become a member. Check out our pricing. We will offer some launch pricing in the early days. So go check it out as soon as you can. And I will say, as I sign off, for tools, workshops, and to join this More platform, the membership, by the way, will be called Momentum. So when you join the Momentum level membership, this is the place where high achievers get aligned, right? And you'll be around others who are in similar places, accomplished a lot, they're high achieving, they've enjoyed great degrees of success, but there's some ache in their soul that they know that this isn't it. My status quo is status no, and I've got to take action. I'm AJ Jones. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this all made sense. I'd love to hear from you. My new email address to reach me will be hello@bemorealigned.com. Life does not wait for the perfect moment. It waits for the brave one. Let's redefine what's possible together. Thanks for listening. I look forward to speaking with you again soon.